Good evening. So glad you're joining us on a midweek Wednesday here at 6 o'clock. I'm Kris Radcliffe. Breaking news tonight out of Killeen, sadly, where a missing real estate agent has been found dead. We first brought you the story last night. There are many sectors, many toppings that go onto that pizza. Growth of 4% turns our economy into a medium pizza, and then a year's worth of growth will give us that coveted large pizza. Every true Texan knows no store does more than my H-E-B. We swear by it, right? We love it. Well, this morning they went to a meeting with a request for commissioners not to renew the detention center's contract. Channel 6 News reporter Jasmine Caldwell is live at the Jack Harwell Detention Center for us this evening and has more on why the group was in for quite a surprise. Jasmine? Well, be sure to tune into Texas Today bright and early tomorrow morning. Well, let's be honest, it won't be bright till about 6:30, but you can catch Jamie Kennedy at West Fest. I was in Italy, 100 degrees.
Wow.
And you say it was raining here. Not fair. But here's my opinion. The NFL is more interesting and exciting when the Dallas Cowboys are good. And Major League Baseball sells more papers, magazines, and TV ratings are way up when the Yankees are good. And like it or hate it, the NBA is more exciting when the Lakers are good. Now, awesome, Zach, I didn't really have you pegged as a shop till you drop type guy, but hey. First of all, take politics out of this. This is not opinion or spin. 4.1% growth. It's simple numbers. They don't have an agenda. To quote the great Ray Charles, it's going to do what it do, baby. And good evening to all of you out there. Thank you so much for watching and tuning in on this Thursday night. I'm Kris Radcliffe. Leslie is on assignment. We're going to get right to your top story now. Local and federal authorities made a big impact in Central Texas today. They arrested 22 people as part of a major drug bust, in addition to the 6 they already had in custody. Channel 6's Cole Johnson has been following this story all day. Cole, how big exactly was this operation?
Kris, this bust is based on years worth of investigation. In total, 28 people are facing federal drug trafficking charges. Thursday, 22 people were arrested as a part of a larger investigation into drug trafficking in Central Texas.
According to the allegations in the indictments, these folks were very, very serious drug traffickers, and they destroy people's lives when they sell things like methamphetamine.
In total, 28 names are listed on these 2 indictments, all facing federal drug trafficking charges. According to the first indictment, 9 people were Gangster Disciple members.
The Gangster Disciples are a very violent organization headquartered in Chicago in the Midwest. And for them to be headquartered or to be solidified in Central Texas is interesting, to say the least.
They're charged because, quote, they conspire to possess with intent to distribute and to distribute a mixture or substance containing a detectable amount of methamphetamine.
Methamphetamine is the most trafficked drug here in Texas.
Each of the 9 allegedly had been dealing either meth, cocaine, or crack around Killeen since October of 2015. The other 19 involved in the bust allegedly, quote, conspire to distribute at least 500 grams of a mixture or a substance containing a detectable amount of methamphetamine in the Waco area since May of 2017.
And in this case, 2 significant trafficking organizations have been removed from our communities, making Central Texas a much safer place.
In total, the bust ended with $16,000, 22 guns, and 5 pounds of meth being taken off the streets.
Now the individuals, as well as a lot of their dope and their firearms, are off the street today.
Now, these 28 people are not considered guilty. They will be facing a judge about detention hearings next week in Waco. Kris?
Yeah, certainly a big sweep today. Thank you so much. Cole Johnson reporting live in studio. Meanwhile, a new defense bill signed by the president could mean improvements to infrastructure around Fort Hood. The 2019 Defense Authorization Act went into law just 3 days ago. It offers a new grant program to improve military communities. Local officials are still waiting to see the fine print on what they can fund, but highways, the power grid, and the local railway are all good candidates for improvements. The Heart of Texas Defense Alliance says even the airport could see some changes.
Future plans, strategic level plans, would be for a second runway. Would that be an option in this process? Probably, but that would be years in the development and actual execution.
Cities will need to put up 30% of the cost of these projects, but in some rural areas, the government may be able to pay the full cost. Well, it's time now for a first check of our weather. Dangerous heat the next few afternoons. Andy, tell me we're going right back there, huh?
We really are. Summertime's not nearly over with for us yet. Yes, our heat indices will be above 105 degrees for the next couple of afternoons. So pace yourself in this kind of heat. This is kind of stuff we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. Live look outside for the Baylor Scott White Health Skyline weather camera. This is Waco South Side. It's a quiet evening for us. You look at the radar and satellite together, and that confirms exactly what we're talking about. We are keeping an eye out in West Texas for some rather strong thunderstorms rolling around out towards El Paso and then back down towards the Big Bend area. Otherwise, it is a fairly quiet night statewide. For us, Clear skies here in Central Texas. We should cool down to about 75, 76 degrees. First thing in the morning, skies will be clear. We'll see a few fair weather clouds as the morning progresses. Lunchtime, we should be already hot, 94. Anticipate a high tomorrow once again at the triple-digit mark. We've now racked up 40 100-degree days this summer. And it's not over. We have complete details on the forecast coming up a little later in the news.
Okay, thank you so much, Andy. The Colorado man accused of killing his pregnant wife and 2 daughters appeared in court today as neighbors set up a memorial in front of the family's home. And now authorities believe they've found the remains of the 2 little girls. Christopher Watts spent several days pleading for his missing family's safe return. He was taken into custody yesterday. Authorities believe they've already recovered the body of his wife, Shannon Watts. Prosecutors say they think the murders happened on Monday. Neighbors gathered in front of the family's home today, making a memorial with flowers, teddy bears, and candles. They discussed their shock about the turn of events.
So, it's just hard to imagine. It's hard to wrap your mind around how a person in their mind could even think of it, let alone do something so horrific. That's horrible.
A judge denied bond for Christopher Watts. He faces 3 charges of murder and 3 charges of tampering with evidence. Prosecutors are expected to file formal charges by Monday. The Veterans Day military parade ordered by President Trump in the works for 2018 has now been postponed. The military and the White House have now agreed to explore opportunities in 2019. That's according to a Pentagon spokesperson. U.S. officials spoke with the Associated Press anonymously, saying the parade would cost $92 million, 3 times the initial price. About $50 million would cover Pentagon costs for aircraft, equipment, personnel, and other support. The rest would mostly cover security and other agencies that were involved. The U.S. government is partnering with Mexico in a renewed strategy to hit drug cartels where it hurts most, in their pocketbooks. This is the Mexican military fighting presumed drug cartel foot soldiers just a few miles south of the Texas border, as a matter of fact. The decades-long drug war is still going on and has produced a record number of homicides in Mexico, perhaps more than 31,000 in 2017 alone. A bunker was discovered in the border city of Matamoros. A mechanical floor under a washing machine leads to a stash of weapons, drugs, and close to $2 million in cash. Just across the border near Roma, Texas, Mexican authorities seized 9 boxes with hundreds of military uniforms made in the U.S. Officials trying to cut off the money supply.
We'll be aggressively attacking the cartel's financial infrastructure by denying revenue going back down across the border.
The Drug Enforcement Administration announced Wednesday that it would strengthen its partnership with Mexico to focus resources on high-value targets to stem the flow of hard drugs through cities across the country. Well, still ahead on the Channel 6 News at 10 for this Thursday evening, a local nonprofit is celebrating 10 years of helping area veterans and their families. Terrific story. You'll want to see that coming up next.